So that YouTuber thinks that James Gunn is the worst choice for co-CEO of DC, which his opinion. However, he thinks Zack Snyder was best fit for the whole Snyderverse with the Batman stuff. I've got to disagree with that because Zack Snyder only pointed out the Dark Knight Returns comic book. He doesn't ever point out Superman stuff, but again, credit what credit's due. This YouTuber says Zack Snyder is not really good with Superman. He says all of Batman stuff was really good, and he doesn't say anything what he thinks about what he does with Superman. He points out that in the beginning of Batman vs Superman, the building gets destroyed, and he wants he says he called someone. He calls his butler, but he should have called his mom, his wife and kids. Which that's a criticism, what he really wanted to do. So, by his own words, Zack Snyder isn't perfect because he wanted that to happen. So that's pretty crazy. And I believe there are things to criticize for Zack Snyder things. But of course, that YouTuber doesn't think so. He thinks the whole Martha thing was perfect. He thinks having Doomsday Jr. to show up before actual Doomsday was perfect. He thinks Lex Luthor Jr. showing up without them saying it's Lex Luthor Jr. And if that's Lex Luthor Jr., where's the actual Lex Luthor? That doesn't really make sense to me, but this guy thinks is perfect, so gotta believe him, right? And here's the thing. James Gunn, even though he kind of made fun of the whole idea of superhero stuff, is because he sees it as more of a comic book to read, to have like a enjoyment, it's a joke, it's entertainment, And then, of course, he likes the serious moments because you see the Suicide Squad where it's like it's very serious. And Creature Commandos is very serious, is very heartfelt. So when he says comic book superhero stuff is joke, he mainly talks about the fact that it's like unbelievable and it's like crazy stuff happening, and like that's that kind of joke, So when Aaron Fisher and stuff like that say that, oh, James Gunn doesn't take superheroes seriously, well, he doesn't see the fact that the movies James Gunn makes, he is taking the character seriously. But okay. But that my YouTuber, he says he's always right. He's always going to be right. Which that's subjective again. That's opinion based and stuff like that. Again, he doesn't mention who he thinks would be good for CEO of DC. And he loves Zack Snyder, so I'm guessing he would think Zack Snyder would be perfect for a CEO, even though he says he's only good for Batman. But that's it, right? Here's the idea. Here's my other choices to be the CEO of DC. Nicolas Cage. Do you know why? Because he's a big fan of comic books. I think Nicholas was from something else, but for sure the Cage part is from Luke Cage. So his last stage name, last part of the stage name is based on a Marvel character, and then his son, I think his I believe his youngest son maybe, is his name is Kal-El, which is his Superman's Kryptonian name. That's pretty interesting. And also, I think he has a Ghost Rider tattoo on him, and stuff like that. And also, Ryan Reynolds wanted Nicolas Cage to come back as Ghost Rider in the Deadpool movie, Deadpool 3. So I'll choose maybe Nicolas Cage, if anything. I'd also possibly choose Shaq because he's a big Superman fan, and he wouldn't be. I don't think he would be good for like the CEO position of the whole of DC, but he can probably control the Superman aspect of the DC stuff. Like James Gunn was for Marvel, he was supposed to control the space aspect of Marvel. Shaq could be the Superman stuff. These are just spitballing. I'm not being like completely serious about this, but like I think me throwing up ideas in my opinions about stuff is a little bit better than the other YouTuber that didn't show anything idea of who would control DC, stuff like that. Oh, and of course, like some of the writers might be good to be the DC CEO, or just bring all the writers together, not have a CEO, but like have them talk to each other and try to make a straightforward story, you know. But yeah, I just think that YouTuber was just thinking, oh, Warner Brothers doesn't know what they're doing and all that stuff. I sort of believe a little bit that they were being reactionary a lot of the times, and them hoping that Superman does well. That's sort of a like orange flag. That's like actually like I would say like yellow light. Try to slow things down a little bit first. However, they're already in the deep mud of the situation right now, so yeah, it's just impossible to decide what's going on for them currently. But I'm just gonna hope Superman does well. This YouTuber just hates everything that they promoted for Superman, even though I personally liked it because the trunks are back, crypto's back. Actually, this is the first time seeing crypto live action in movies. But yeah, overall, it's interesting how things go. And how these people that don't like James Gunn, he said that YouTuber also says there's nothing he liked about what James Gunn does and stuff, so that's also sort of a red flag of him just being biased. But yeah.